Welcome to Tales from the Tips. If you're catching us on YouTube, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you tell a friend or two or four or eight or however many you want. You can find this podcast anywhere you find your favorite podcast: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and also on the Odyssey app. Just make sure you go to your Google Play or iPhone store and download Tales from the Tips. I'm DA, alongside 15-year tour caddy Mick Middlemo. We are just a couple guys that love to talk about the game of golf, both inside and outside the ropes, but we come at it from a much different perspective.
A different angle.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Leo, let's grip it and rip it.
Is this jersey annoying you?
Is this jersey annoying me?
Yeah.
No. Why would it annoy me?
Oh, because you're an Avalanche fan.
Well, I'm a multitude of fandom in the NHL. I'm born and raised a Red Wings fan who went to go work for the Colorado Avalanche.
Should we edit that out?
And became an Avalanche fan because of the amazing team that is there. Though I think by the time we get this, the season will be starting soon. We'll see how all the teams work out.
This team's not going to be very good.
That team's not going to be very good. I don't know. I haven't followed enough in this offseason to know who's going to be doing what.
We signed like 7.
I just know that Utah is going to have a hockey club,
and that's what they're called, the Utah Hockey Club.
Okay, well, that's
the
just creative naming.
That's that one. I guess they're waiting on something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably check naming rights and stuff.
Yeah,
like
probably.
That. So normally this is where I ask you how you're doing, how you've been. You're going to tell me that you were a little tired from being at trivia night the night before and stuff like that. But no, this isn't how this one's going to work.
Listen.
And it's your fault.
Again,
is another theme. And we're on episode 5.
Yeah.
I think this is probably your 4th fault already.
Okay.
So normally you and I, now this is typical guy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We don't normally call each other.
No, we text.
We
text, yes.
We just text each other. Hey, what are we talking about? What are we going to go over? Cool.
Yep.
What time are you going to be there? Cool. You want to grab a beer? Sure. Okay, great.
That's it.
Okay. You called me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was heading to an appointment. You were heading to the bar.
Yes. It was my day off yesterday.
It was your day off yesterday. Yes. Which is fine. I mean, you invited me to your lair.
It is.
Your crib.
I let you into my...
I got to meet the crew.
You got to meet some of them.
Some. I didn't get to meet the lady.
No, you did not get to meet my friend.
I didn't get to meet your friend. Sorry, your friend. But I got to meet some of the crew yesterday.
Yeah.
By the way, my appointment was right across the street.
Yeah, you got there quick. I must admit, you did get there quick.
The funny part is so I was using one of those wonderful navigation systems. I'm not going to name which one because they don't pay us.
Well, they might if you mention them.
Well, I'm not going to give them free plugs.
Okay, good idea.
Okay. So I ran it, and the address you gave me, and it said 49 minutes from where I was at. And I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm just going to go home after this. So I texted my wife. I said, hey, do we need anything? There's a grocery store right across the street. Do we need anything? And of course I got, we need this, and this. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go knock this out, and then I'll head home and feed the dogs and make myself a nice couple pork chops and call it a night, right?
That sounds good.
It was really good. And then as I'm driving across the street into the parking lot, there's your bar right there on the corner in the strip mall.
Yep.
And I was like...
You must have been looking at the wrong Gustons.
I must have looked at... Right. You just sent me somewhere random. It was a rando.
Probably.
Yeah. So here I am, and I'm like, well, I didn't want to walk in randomly because I didn't know if it was the real bar. And there you were, holding court.
As usual.
Aussie Norm is what I'm going to refer to you as. I mean, everybody in there was coming up to you.
Yeah. I know a lot of people.
Well, clearly.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't the bar, though, you owned
No.
while you were out on tour.
No, definitely not.
This is just
my local where I like to hang out. And
how did you pick this place?
I don't know. I mean, there used to be one. They had one closer to my house that closed down about 8 or 9 years ago, and then they opened this one. And it's just been one of those ones I just sort of frequent, and it just got more and more frequent. And when I got divorced, it was like, I don't really like cooking for myself. So it's like I'd go there and eat, and and you play golf with all the guys and play keno and just sit and drink and have a laugh.
Have a good time.
They do a lot of good stuff there. They have, they have trivia, they have bands, they had live music last night. Tonight they got something else going on. I don't know. But yeah, it's good. It's just a good place to hang out.
Well, I will say it was really nice. I mean, obviously with
bartenders are amazing.
Do you want to name your bartenders?
I do want to name my bartenders. Last night I had Aubrey and Mackenzie, but my best friend who's my bartender there is Reese. She's amazing.
So I didn't get to meet Reese.
You didn't get to meet Reese. No.
Reese was not there.
She was not there. She'll be there. I don't know. Maybe tonight. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going in there tonight.
Me either.
But no, you have to work tomorrow.
Correct.
You have to behave yourself tonight. So since she's not here, shocker, Kim. Yep. Kim.
Oh, Kim?
No, Kim.
No, sorry.
I'm going to make an executive decision.
Okay.
We are going to create the Mick World Bar Tour.
Oh. How's this going to work?
How do you like the sound of this?
I love the sound of it. What are you going to do? You're going to move me from bar to bar?
Well, no, but kind of.
Okay.
What we're going to do as we get closer and closer to the upcoming PGA Tour season, because we're going to talk about what's getting ready to happen, which is the fall season, not the wraparound, not the silly season. I know. You're waving your hands over there. You're already upset. I know why.
Oh, no.
But we'll let you tell why in a second.
Okay.
We'll get to it. But I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to pick, and you're going to start talking about the bars that in those cities that you like to frequent when you were a caddy out on tour.
I don't know if I can remember the bars' names off by heart.
This is where you're going to have to put a little research into this.
What if a lot of them I wouldn't remember?
That's okay.
You missed the cut on a Friday. There's a lot going on.
Well, this is true. I mean, those are the ones you should remember the most. You've spent the most money there.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's what we're gonna also find one. We're gonna do a remote broadcast. Leo, can we pack up all the equipment and do a remote broadcast? Okay, I think we got a thumbs up. Did you get a thumbs up?
I got a thumbs up. So I know where we're going first then.
Where are we going?
Gustin's.
You want to do Gustin's first?
I want to do Gustin's first.
Okay. Well, this is your world tour.
Yeah, I want to do Gustin's first.
I'd like to get creative with our listeners and come up with a T-shirt design.
Okay.
We'll have the Mick World Bar Tour T-shirts.
Oh boy.
Tales from the Tips is going out on remote.
Okay, I got you.
Do you think Kim's going to approve this?
It doesn't matter. She's not here. Call her. Let's call her now.
We can't call her while we're recording a podcast.
We can.
No, we can't.
Okay.
She's in a client meeting. She's too good for us.
Okay, well
she literally left us. You know,
no.
Right? Okay.
Well, she's not the first woman to do that to me. So
There we
go.
go
Ready for another episode.
Another episode. Another reference. 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay. So we're gonna do this.
Okay.
Gus's is going to be our first one.
Yep.
So you have to make the arrangements to do this.
Oh, I've got it.
We're going to do it as a part of, like episode maybe 14, 15, something like that.
Okay.
Because we're only on 5. We got to give ourselves some time to do some planning.
All right.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about what's going on the tour right now.
Can I just throw a quick one in there?
Sure.
And then can we do the second one at the golf course?
We can.
The bar at the golf course? Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, I think
I'm planning ahead. I'm trying to think.
Well, there's going to be down the road we're going to be playing in a charity tournament together.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about it. I think we may record one of our episodes in advance because the outing doesn't tee off till noon on a Friday. By the way, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
I'll be having Saturday off.
You might want to schedule that now. But we'll record an episode because Leo will have all the equipment. Leo doesn't know this, but he's going to be with us. He's going to have cameras and microphones, and we're going to because there's a bigger plot to this. But we'll get to that later on down the road.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. I'm all for it.
Okay. So the FedEx Fall is starting.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, sir?
Never been a huge fan of it.
Why? Because you've told me this, and and after you told me, it made a ton of sense.
I get it. I get it to a degree, but I always liked it when the tour finished and then they just started again the next year, and you had Q School, and you would finish at East Lake, and then first event would be the Kapalua, and then you would play Sony, and then you would go on there, and you'd have Q School and stuff like that. So, but I mean, I get the fall series. I just don't like what it does to other tours around the world. I mean, I think the Australian tour suffered really, really heavily from this.
That's the part that, when you told me about it, I guess as an American, you don't think about it because we only see and hear about the PGA Tour here. We don't. I mean, unless you're a diehard golf fan, you don't really pay attention to the DP Tour or Asian Tour or Australian Tour. I'm not up at 2:00 in the morning, rolling in from the bar.
Me either. Ish.
But you said that, and it made a ton of sense. So you think that the long-term effect of the PGA doing this was detrimental to some of the other?
Yeah, I think it was detrimental at first. I don't think it is as much now, but at first I think it really was. You start the Tour 2025 season still in 2024. I didn't understand it, but I understand the points and the fall series and all that sort of stuff now gives the guys a leg up, next year and things like that. But it used to be the top 125 would keep their card. 125 to 150 you'd get certain events. You'd probably get 8-9 events during the year, and then the other 150 to 200, I think, got their Corn Ferry or whatever it is now. Yeah, well, nationwide tour back then.
Yeah,
and then you would go to Q School and try to figure out Q School and stuff like that, which is still the hardest thing I've ever caddied. 6 rounds plus 4 practice rounds at 2 different courses, and either in Florida or Palm Springs, in Orlando or Palm Springs. And, you would get your card that way. But a lot of players could still go back and play their home events, like all the top Australian players could go back and play their home events, and you'd get some other Americans coming down there and play. And then it was bad for the tour, I think, in Australia.
So you didn't like the wraparound?
No, I didn't like the wraparound.
At all?
No, I hated it.
You would prefer it kind of the way they have it now. If you have to have
it the way they've got it now,
you'd rather just East Lake.
Oh yeah,
ends
Q School. Give everyone a chance, and go again.
So okay, let me ask it this way, because I think this is the one where I'm, as a golfer and obviously not a good amateur golfer, whatever, repetition playing. So if you're in the top 30, there's really no reason then to play
in the fall series.
In the fall,
no.
So you want your guys sitting out for 4 months?
Well, that's what they're doing now anyway.
Well, some of them are. I mean, Rory's not.
Yeah, well, Rory will go play.
Those guys are over and playing in European.
What's Scotty Scheffler's next event going to be, you think?
A made for TV event with Bryson,
yeah, made for TV.
Brooks and
but
Rory.
I mean, they're having their time off and stuff like that. And I get it. It's great so these are great events for the fringe players to try to give themselves a leg up to get into these bigger events next year. But I think it was detrimental for the tours around the world. Because the Australian tour used to be fantastic. The Australian Open, the Australian Masters, Australian PGA, players would go down there, and the crowds were awesome and stuff like that. I think it took away. And maybe that's just the selfish Australian part of me, sort of thing, going, hey, well, what about our tour as well?
You can say what you want about the LIV Tour, but when they're down there, those crowds are massive.
Oh, Australians love their sport. We do. We are crazy about our sports. I mean, I said, when I first started watching golf, I remember my dad taking me to, I think I've told the story, it's like to a tournament, and then, watching the caddies and the players, and spectators, man, the place was packed.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. It's like, someone actually posted something on YouTube the other day. It was like the 2000 Australian Masters. And I was just looking at the crowds at Huntingdale, because Huntingdale is such a good golf course. The Sandbelt courses down there with the Huntingdale, Kingston Heath, Royal Melbourne, these are some of the best golf courses in the world.
Yeah.
And I just think that, we're not utilising them, and the best players in the world aren't getting to play them enough. And, by having, like this wraparound stuff, I think it just destroyed it a little bit.
So because
Jordan Spieth used to go down there and play. I mean, I think Jack Nicklaus, he used to call the Australian Open the 5th major. And I think he's won it like 7 times or something like that. And it used to feel that way, because players would come from, Tom Watson, Gary Player, all these guys Arnie, they'd all come down and play the Australian Open.
Yeah, because
now it's just you might get the occasional Jordan Spieth going down there, but they're also paying him $500,000 to go down there. So
so you would rather see like this time of year instead of the bigger guys just sitting at home, maybe more of a world tour type of thing.
I'd love to.
Do you see? Okay, do you? And I know we haven't talked about it this way. Do you see the potential PGA LIV merger doing something along those lines?
Yeah, I do. Eventually, it's going to have to. I think the money is ridiculous that you couldn't take that money if you're offering someone $400 million to go and play at LIV. I mean, that's a pretty good business decision. Yeah. But again, that's detrimental to the PGA Tour as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So, because we're not watching the best players in the world together where we should be. And they can still play in some of the majors and stuff like that. And what it's like, you're sitting up all day. Everyone loves to watch the majors. I couldn't tell you the last time I sat down and watched a full classic event and went, oh, yeah, this is the last round. I'm really interested in this.
Yeah, I think when this podcast is being recorded, we haven't even started them yet. I think this weekend they're in
I think this is the
Napa. Yeah.
And I've been down to Napa, and I can't even remember the name.
I was going to ask, did you ever caddy in the fall?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. And then, and they took certain
events. One in
events.
Vegas. That's not a bad one to want to play.
Well, that never used to be part of the full series.
Okay.
That used to be part of the regular tour and stuff like that. And I said, and the hard part is that they used to have so many great events, which they lost. And a lot of them sponsorship and stuff like that. I mean, the Buick in Flint, Michigan.
Yep. Grand Blanc.
What a great golf tournament that was. The crowds and that tournament were...
Champions are there now.
Yeah, but the crowds are phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously there's probably not a lot to do in Flint, Michigan because...
Not anymore. I mean, not after they closed the GM plant.
It's the only place I've ever had my laundry stolen. True story. I used to get all my gear from Nike.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
This is a theme during episodes.
But so I used to get all my gear from Nike, and then I was at the laundromat in Flint, Michigan, and I took it out of the washing machine, put it all in the dryer. And, it's all the good stuff. It's like the shorts and the beautiful shirts and stuff. Went over to McDonald's, got myself something to eat, came back, and it was all gone. Everything.
Somebody just
underwear, socks.
Everybody just took everything.
It was gone. Yeah, it was all gone.
Oh, boy.
So I just called the Nike guys and hey, this was happening. And then there was a whole bunch of clothes there the next day. So
well, there you go.
Yeah, they took care of me.
It's a good thing you knew some people.
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan. Yeah, I that was one of the first tournaments I ever worked as a young sales professional.
Younger.
I was selling golf course turf maintenance equipment.
Oh, really?
That was my first job out of college.
And now look.
And now look at me.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing a golf podcast
with an Australian.
With an Australian caddy. Speaking of, there was one that I did not like him when I saw him in Grand Blanc.
Who?
Stevie.
Oh, Stevie Williams?
Yeah.
Stevie was all right.
You say that.
No, Stevie was all right.
He was not very nice to people.
Well, no, he was very protective of Tiger. He was like the marshal around Tiger. He was right there. Actually, it was probably one of the first times I ever hung out with him. Was up there at the golf course. It was in a rain delay.
Yeah, but you told me that he would refuse to go out to have beer with you boys.
Yeah. It was during a rain. It was during a rain delay, and we were sort of sitting right at the front of the clubhouse. We were just chatting, and it's like, look, chances are we're not going to play again because it was a huge storm. And I was like, so what are you up to tonight? He's like, just probably have a quiet night. I said, do you want to come out and have some dinner and grab a couple of beers or something? He's like, no, I can't do that. I was like, why? He's like, you not allowed to drink or something? He's like, no, I can't. I have to sign too many autographs if I go out and have dinner in public. And I was like, all right, cool. All right, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Big Time, you're good.
So last time we were talking, our last episode, we were talking about your bestie that you haven't heard from.
Which one?
Justin Timberlake.
Oh, Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Blew me off.
But you got into telling me, so we wrapped that podcast, and you and I went downstairs, and we were having a couple of cocktails, and just rehashing and just kind of catching up on stuff. Mm-hmm. And you told me how you got started in this.
Caddying?
Yeah. And I assumed that you started because you just mentioned Dad had taken you to a couple of events down in Australia.
Yeah.
So you didn't start as a caddy out of Australia.
No, I didn't really play much golf back in Australia. I played a little bit.
You were here in the States.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when I was back in Australia, when I was growing up, I played a little bit of golf. I was into Australian rules football and cricket. They were my two loves. And basically I would play golf just for fun. And I would shoot 90, 95. I was happy. I didn't really care about it and stuff. Then I came over here. But, you know, and I remember, as you said, I'd go to a couple of events with Dad, and I remember watching one guy come off the green one time. I think it was a guy by the name of Mike Caloundra, who was an American. Mm-hmm. And I looked at his caddy, and I said to Dad, I said, when did he get that job? It'd be kind of a cool job. Not really thinking about it, and whatever it was like. So it just didn't sort of, but it never really crossed my mind after that.
Yeah.
And then I came over to the States, and I was traveling. I decided to stay here, and I was going to stay in Chicago for 3 weeks, and I stayed there for nearly 10 years. So I played one season of cricket in Chicago, and there's no sports for me over here. And I'm in my 20s, late 20s, and I was like, I guess I'll just get right into golf because all my buddies over here played golf. So I took it real serious. I got after it. I was at the range every day, and we were playing all the time, and I got down to single figures. And then the lifestyle of working in a bar until 4 and 5 o'clock every morning and going out every night was sort of taking its toll on me a little bit. So I was like, I think I'm just going to go back to Australia for a year or two. So I did. I went back to Australia, started working for the Hilton Hotel, and then I got invited by the Hilton to play in a Pro-Am, representing the Hilton. And I was like, sure, hey, absolutely, love to. Let's go. So I got paired up with a guy by the name of Glenn Joyner. There was another guy in the group by the name of Sean Graff who played cricket for Australia. He was a really good dude too, a good golfer.
Yeah.
But Glenn Joyner, he was the pro, and we become great mates. He's a knockabout guy. He liked the horse racing, loved the beer, you know, all that sort of stuff. Loved his football like I did, and we just become great buddies. Okay. So he would come and see me all the time at the Hilton, and I'd give him, you know, here's your free beers for the day and stuff like that. And because I'm not going to charge, wasn't going to charge my buddies for their beers, and we played a lot of golf together.
Okay.
And then I lost my job at the Hilton. They fired like 6 managers or something. I'd only been there for about a year, and I think they gave me like a severance package, like $10,000 or something like that. Yeah. And Glenn's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. We'll find another job, maybe. I don't know. He's like, come and do some caddying for me. Just take a bit of time off. Just come and caddy some Pro-Ams. And when I'm talking Pro-Ams, I'm talking about $3,000 Pro-Ams. You know, so it's like $900 to the winner.
I was going to say, you're making nothing.
Oh, no, there was no money involved.
Yeah.
It was like, just come and learn it and see how you go. And then there was a couple other...
So did he help you learn how to become a caddy then?
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and I knew the etiquette of golf because at that stage I was a member of a golf club.
Okay.
I think I was like
You knew the general rules.
I knew the general rules.
Etiquette.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like a 3 handicap at that stage, so I knew the rules. But you know, there's a lot of nuances to caddying and stuff. So then it became
it's a whole different.
Then it became the
part of
yardages and you know the wind and the pin sheets and learning this and where to stand and not what to do and stuff. And it was a crash course. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so I did a few events with him. And then there was a couple of bigger Pro-Ams, couple like $100,000 Pro-Ams. They were the big ones, you know, $18,000 first prize, and you know, because it's 18% for a win. And so I did a few of them with him. And then there was a couple he didn't get into, but he used to sponsor some players. Cam Percy, who now plays on the Champions Tour, and Adam Crawford, who's back in Australia, doesn't play golf anymore because I probably ruined his career like a few others. So.
Oh, man.
But he would sponsor. He was.
We're gonna have to go into that a little bit more.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of guys on the couch because of me.
Yeah.
And then so I did. He sponsored a couple of players, and one of them was looking for a caddy, and Adam Crawford. So I did a couple of events with Adam, a couple of smaller ones, the $100,000 ones, and things like that. And he's like, "Yeah, this is good. I like this." And he'd never had a full-time caddy before.
Okay.
Because he was just sort of cutting his teeth, and he was trying to get into it. You know, he was a really good player.
Yeah.
Didn't hit it very far, but hit it straight, like gun barrel straight. And so he's like, hey, do you want to caddy for me in the Australian Open? And I was like, yeah. And that was at Victoria. And the first round was actually cancelled. It was really weird. They cancelled the first round. It was the most beautiful, perfect, sunny, glorious day. But the greens were like this, like that table there. They were
brown.
So fast.
Oh.
So fast.
They forgot to water them?
Well, yeah, they basically said they were trying to make them fast. And so and on the Wednesday in the Pro, everyone's like, hey, guys, you're going to lose these greens if you don't do this.
Yep.
Well, in the morning, we go out and shoot 1 over on the most ridiculous greens I've ever been on. And we were like in second place. And then they came and watered the greens for the second round, for the afternoon group.
Yeah.
Well, everyone lost their minds. Well, because now we've changed the conditions for the golf course. We can't do this. So, I mean, there was players losing their minds over it. I was losing my mind. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We just shot one of the best rounds ever.
Yeah.
So anyway, they cancelled the round, and they made it a 54-hole event starting the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we finished 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, we finished. We had a great event. I mean, he played awesome, and then I went on to the Australian Masters, and I think he finished 4th or 5th there as well.
Okay.
And it was.
So you guys were rolling.
Yeah, he's rolling.
Yeah.
So now he's like, you know, I really, you know, I need to go to second stage of tour school in Europe. You know, I'm exempt for that. you want to come to Europe with me? I was like, yeah, where are we going? He's like, it's a place called Pals and Importer. It's outside of Barcelona. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm going to Barcelona if you're paying. So over we went, and we spent a couple of weeks over there, and it was like, that was my first real experience of, well, this life might not be as glamorous as you think.
Yeah.
Because, we fly into Barcelona, we pick up a rental car, and, this is back in 2001, maybe, 2000. So we don't have the GPS. We just got a map, and we're like driving out of Barcelona with this map. Like,
I can only see you just in a
Well,
small little car.
I was this little stick shift thing, and he's driving, and I've got the map. I've got the map, and I'm like, oh, look, it looks like if we go this way, it's going to be shorter. He's like, yeah, it's a good idea. And it's like over the top of like the Pyrenees Mountains or some stupid thing. It's like, it was just the dumbest decision I've ever made. And I've never been so car sick in my life.
Yeah.
Like the turns just like this, and he's in the stick shift, and he's like doing this. And I'm trying to read the map, and it was just like, it was horrific. But we finally get there. It's like 11 o'clock at night, trying to check into a hotel where like no one speaks a lick of English. So we get in there, and we're rooming together. There's no two separate rooms. We're in this
you guys are together.
Yeah, we're in this tiny little room that has like 2 channels, and none of them are in English. So at that stage, we had like the old Nokia phones. Yeah. And we're playing like Snake against each other. Like, that's my score, that's your score, this is your score. We go to a restaurant like down the road that had like pictures on the menu, and that's all we could pick out. And then we'd go to the golf course all day. Yeah. And it was funny, like the first 2-3 rounds there were all delayed because of wind. Beautiful sunny day. We couldn't play because it was so windy. The wind was like 80 mile an hour. And you could put a ball on the putt. We would put balls on the putting green, and they would just go like this. Blow, yeah. And it was 3 days basically just sitting in the clubhouse waiting for the wind to stop. And that's all we did, was just sit there all day. You go turn up, here's your tee time, and we're going to sit here all day till it gets dark because we're not playing. Yep. And then go back to the hotel. And I'm like, this is really not that glamorous. Yeah. So 15 years later, I still did it.
And you've said that you would do it again.
I would, yeah. I'd probably have to get back into a gym at some stage. I walked 3 holes the other day.
This is where he's going to shameless plug for a gym membership.
No. There's nothing coming for gym memberships.
Yeah. Okay.
I literally walked 3 holes the other day because I was mad at myself. So I pulled the clubs off the back and walked like 3 holes and nearly killed me.
We do know what happened the last time you were out playing golf.
Yeah, it nearly killed me. Yeah, with my hamstring. Yeah, it's good. It's good now.
Yep.
Not really.
Back at it.
Not really.
Not really.
But no. Yeah, I would. I think Champions Tour. I would love to do the 3 rounds. I'd love to do the 3 rounds.
Well, and then you got the cart. Well,
we're not really allowed to ride on the carts, but it's
not allowed to ride.
It's just 3 rounds. It's a little more chill.
The back can ride on the cart with the player.
Yeah, it'd be a little more
just
chill.
Not without you.
Just not without me. But I could do that. I could definitely do that. It's just chilled. And I know most of those guys out there now. Yeah. I nearly know them all. So that would probably get me back out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to do that.
Bartender to bagman.
That's it. That's what it turned out to be. Yeah. Back.
Now you're back to
in the bar rings. Back in the bar ring again. No shameless plugs.
Now you're just running bars.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and playing a little bit of golf on the side.
And attempting to play golf.
Attempting to play golf on the side.
You and I don't play golf anymore.
Not yet.
Not at our age.
Not yet.
All right. Well.
But yeah, I mean, I would definitely get out, and I would definitely get out and do it again. It's fun. I mean, there are times I miss it, like the camaraderie ship with the caddies and just having a blast and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the caddy network, so to speak, that's out there, you guys are still close. You're still a close group. I mean, I know you and I have talked on many occasions about just reaching out to, players, but also other caddies.
Yeah, I spoke to one of my buddies the other day.
Like Teddy Scott is one of your buddies.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him for a long time, and I called my buddy Shannon. I hadn't spoken to him for probably 6-7 months. I gave him a call the other day, and he's all excited about the podcast because I'm probably dropping some shade on some people. He's excited.
I was going to say, I think you may have talked about him already once.
Yeah, he's a good man, and a few others I've spoken to. I mean, there's not many I disliked out there. There might have been a couple.
Yeah. All right.
There was one caddy I was going to. I think this might have been at Q School. No, I think it was the Web.com finals.
That did what?
That he said something to one of my players on the 17th hole that nearly got him punched in the face, and I tore into him at the end of the round. I said, "You ever talk to my player like that again, I will knock you out."
What did he say?
I can't remember what it was.
For what?
It was in a bunker, and the caddy's nickname is the Punk, and he was called the Punk for a reason because he was a punk.
Yeah.
And he was very abrasive. He was just very rude. And I think he said something about the way Daniel acted on the 17th hole at the Valley course at TPC Sawgrass. And he said something to Daniel, and Daniel turned, and I basically said, you don't ever talk to my player.
Yeah.
You have no business talking to my player. We go about our job. We do whatever we want.
Yeah.
We're not slowing you down. We're not doing anything. Don't ever talk to my player again, ever. And he was caddying for an Australian guy by the name of Nick Ahern, who was a great player. And Nick was even like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, caddy ever speaks like that again, we're going to have some issues on the golf course.
Yeah.
So I haven't told that story either, so there you go.
No, there was a
So
bonus.
I threw that one.
Bonus episode.
I threw that one in there because I hadn't told you that one again. I thought about that last night.
Yeah, well.
I don't know his real name, but he's the punk.
That's okay. I'm sure somebody can Google it and find out who it is.
Oh, yeah, they will.
All right. Well, thanks for teeing it up with us on Tales from the Tips. We hope your drives are straight, your putts are
Straight?
straight. It's like I was out last night with you.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, shocker. Your drives are straight, your putts are short, and your scores are low. We'll see you next time on Tales from the Tips.